It's
All right,
always
we'll
going to be
figure that.
this.
Please, I'm gonna get Stevie Wonder to do it. I'm gonna hire him.
Okay, Grant. Visions of Mana. So basically, Visions of Mana. It's the game studio. They shut down the game studio after making this game,
Which
which
is
is a
weird.
shame.
Which is weird. That's the weird. Okay, now I understand some game studios that deserve to be shut down, like Dustborn, should be thrown
Yeah.
in the middle of the ocean. But this shut down for a successful game, which is weird.
I mean, I still don't know how
Ponzi
the
scheme.
sales went, but
Ponzi
like
scheme. It
it
has
is
to be a Ponzi scheme.
it's a fantastic mana game.
I think
Like
every
you've
time
been
you spent,
asking for a good mana, another addition, to the mana series, and they delivered.
I
But
think
anyway,
every time that you spent money in this game, they took real money out of your account. Like
I don't know. All right,
it's
so
a
let
Ponzi
me let
scheme.
me just go overview the game.
All
All
right,
right,
go
so
ahead.
anyway, in the game, you start out as Val,
I'm not
and
going to
basically,
interrupt you.
you just did. All right, so you start out as Val, who's a soul guard. Basically, the concept of the entire game, like the story, is you have these alms that represent the different elements, right? And they're chosen people. Like this fairy chooses an alm from different villages representing an element. And the purpose of Val, the soul guard, is the soul guard takes these alms to the mana tree on a journey, basically to get technically sacrificed. Like they basically use their spirits and give mana back to the world. So the spirits and the mana tree and the world can come back to balance. So that's the purpose of the game, and that's kind of what you're doing as you meet these different alms, the different characters that Val runs into, and to take that journey to the mana tree. But anyway, so it starts out in the village. You play as Val, and you have a friend, a childhood friend named Hina. She's actually named the Alm of Fire, so he's tasked into collecting the rest of the alms and bring them to the mana tree for this. Anyway, long story short, you go all the way. A lot of things happen. I'm not going to spoil a lot of it. Well, I'll try not to spoil a lot of it. But anyway, something happens to Hina, and you run into, you eventually get introduced to the main bad guy, Dalathos, who used to be the last, basically the hero of mana, basically. And he was the last wielder of the mana sword and everything like that. Well, he went through a psychotic break because he was helping the goddess fulfill things, fight these benevodons, which are these ancient beasts that represent each element. And he was tasked to do that. But after he did that for the mana goddess, his love, a girl, ended up getting killed. And he just goes complete psycho, and he ends up being the main antagonist halfway through the game. And that's basically who you kind of go after for the rest of the game. Overall, combat is very straightforward, but it is fun. Like you can switch classes whenever you want to. You can change into whatever Undyne, use water, change into Sylphid to use wind powers and stuff like that. And you advance your uh, you basically gather these elemental points, and you spend the elemental points into increasing your power within these elements for each class. So anyway, the combat's fun. You got, you can do all these special moves. You got a special attack. You can feel the air. Like if you're fire, like let's say Val's the element of fire, he's Salamando. He can actually fill the area with this fire on the ground that does like periodic damage to everyone in the area, all the enemies in the area. And you can mix it with other things from the other classes, like your other companions. They can use other spirits and do special attacks. So combat's fun, especially once you get later in the game and gather more of the elements or the more of the spirits, the different powers like water, earth, and all that stuff. It gets really fun. The game is beautiful. Like it is really a beautiful game when it comes to the scenery. The story's good. The even the English dialogue is really good. Especially towards the end, you'll find a lot of funny parts and a lot of comedy between the party, and you actually start liking the characters a lot, which is good in any JRPG. That
Yeah,
character building, and
because
you
there's a
really
lot
start like.
sometimes that you don't like.
Yeah, there's a lot of times there's always an annoying character or something like that. This one
Always.
I didn't really find an annoying character. I mean, Karina had a really country accent, but I kind of relate it because I'm from Mississippi, so it kind of felt like I was talking to a Southern belle, in the game. But overall, the dialogue's pretty good. The story's fantastic, and all the way to once you reach the mana tree, like that scene when you're walking up to the mana tree is amazing. Like the art and everything they did for the game. I mean, it's just a great installment for the Mana series. Overall, the story was fantastic, even including the ending. It had a good ending. Usually, kind of leaves you hanging, but it did have a really good ending, and it's really touching ending because of what happened to one of your companions through the story, one of Val's love interests, which was Hina. Something happens to her in the story, and it the ending kind of makes you feel good about what happened basically between them because they're pretty much reunited. Let's say that. Anyway,
Oh,
over. I mean, like it's a shame. Uka Studios, right?
yeah,
Uka.
something like that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got shut down, I guess, by NetEase, but it's a real shame because they delivered a really good Mana game, like one we've been waiting for because there's a lot of throwbacks to the original Secret of Mana, right?
Yeah.
The music. They revamped some of the music, but you recognize the music, especially like the beginning area and everything like that. You recognize a lot of stuff. You recognize all the enemies. They're all from all the Mana games. The Mana Tree, all that stuff. It has that classic look to it once you see it. I mean,
Are the shopkeepers still dancing?
The shopkeepers are still dancing. Yeah, so I mean, it's a throwback to the Mana Secret of Mana and a lot of things, and it's just a great addition to the Mana game. And it's a shame that this, like, if I would want a studio to make another Mana game after this, they need to give it to them. I don't know what Square Enix's plans are for the studio, or if they're just gone, whatever. But they need to retain some of those people because they made a fantastic Japanese RPG and a great Mana game at the end of it. When all said is done,
it's not going to be Capcom to get it either, because what they'll do is they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we'll make one as long as we put Resident Evil remake into it."
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it about an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
It's a good Japanese RPG, and it's definitely, if you like Secret of Mana and those games, if you like Trials of Mana, including the remake, you will really like this game. Bottom line.
You know what I liked about your review is the fact that you sounded like you played the game.
Yeah.
Thoroughly.
Oh yeah, I love the game, dude.
So on the flip side, let's talk about anything bad. Is there anything bad that you didn't like? That
the combat at the beginning can be slow.
Okay.
Like it's uninteresting at first.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're first playing, you're like, is this all the combat is? No, it's not. It picks up a lot once you get more powers and more abilities. And it starts becoming fun because now you can take these seeds that you gradually get, ability seeds that you get from killing enemies and from like doing side quests. And let me tell you, dude, you want to talk about some side quests? There are a ton of side quests in this game. Like,
did you do all the side quests?
I did not finish it because I had to play Space Marine 2.
Yeah, no, I
finished
get it.
all the side quests.
I get it. I'm not a side quest guy either.
So anyway, there's a lot of side quests that you get some really good stuff with. And I mean, they're not just empty side quests. That some are part of the story, but a lot are not. But the stuff you get from it are kind of worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ability seeds that you can equip on your characters. If you equip and you can play around with stuff, you can make some pretty op. Like I made Val into. I used Salamando for his class, which is basically a tank with a shield. But basically, I can spin my shield around and like collect enemies together and then slam down on them.
That's cool.
And then I have like either one of the other party members that I put like basically spamming spells like all out on their strategy and the settings. And then I gave them an ability seed that lets them cast continuously without interruption. So as soon as I gather them all up, the other character just rains magic on them constantly. So you can make some really cool like combinations between, for combat and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's my 8.5. It's a great Mana game. If you like Mana games, get it and play it. If you like Japanese RPGs, play it.
We're going to put out the official DMG graphic of this review.
Oh, yeah? You made one up?
No, not yet.
Oh, you didn't do it? Okay.
Not yet.
Oh, let me guess. I have to do it?
We're probably waiting for you to do it since,
yeah.
Nah, I'll do it. It'll have to look good. So I'll do it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. Great Mana game.
Well, there you have it. 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Da 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 da. Do you want me to do it again?
No.
The closing? Oh, no. Okay.
Please don't.
Okay.